Tonight, we are going to spend a quiet evening in a small house in the village of Nazareth. It is a house you may feel you already know, the home of a young woman named Mary. In the years when her son was still a child, you do not need to know the Bible to be here. You do not need to remember anything or follow anything or do anything at all. All you need to do tonight is rest. So before we begin, wherever you are lying right now, let yourself grow a little heavier. Let the day you have carried begin to set itself down. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Thank you for being here at Lamplight Scripture. Let us begin. Many of us, when we finally lie down at the end of the day, find that the mind does not lie down with us. The room goes quiet, but the thoughts grow louder. They reach back to something said this morning. They reach forward to tomorrow. They count the things left undone. And so often, lying there in the dark, we begin to blame ourselves for it. Why can I not simply rest? What is wrong with me that even sleep should feel like work? But there is nothing wrong with you. This restless mind is old, older than you, older than this quiet village we are walking toward. The young woman whose home we are about to enter knew it too. She carried more than most of us will ever carry. And tonight, we are simply going to sit inside her unhurried evening and let her slow and gentle world slow ours down with it. Picture the village now as the light begins to leave it. Nazareth is small, only a few dozen houses of pale stone set into the side of a hill. The day has been warm, and now the warmth is loosening, softening into a deep blue evening. The last of the workers are coming up the narrow paths between the houses. You can hear them before you see them. The scrape of a sandal on stone, a low voice, a wooden gate easing shut, and one by one, the small windows of the village begin to glow. A light here, a light there, each one a family settling in for the night. In one of those houses, a young woman is lifting a small clay lamp down from its shelf. Her name is Mary. She is not hurried. There is nowhere left to be tonight but here. She tips a little oil into the shallow dish of the lamp. She trims the wick with her fingers, and she holds a small flame to it and waits. The wick catches. A soft yellow light spreads slowly up the wall, and the room, which a moment ago was only gray shapes and shadow, becomes a home again. Watch how little the light asks of her. She does not force it. She does not hurry it. She simply gives it what it needs, and then lets it burn. Perhaps that is all rest asks of us too. Not effort, not trying, only that we stop holding the day so tightly and let the quiet catch, the way a wick catches a flame. There is an old song from her people that says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." Tonight, you do not need to see the whole path. You do not need to know all of tomorrow. Only the small circle of light around you. Only this breath. Only this one quiet moment is enough. Psalm 4. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. There be many that say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us. Thou hast put gladness in my heart, more than in the time that their corn and their wine increased. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. In the corner of the room, there is a warm, plain smell, the smell of bread. Earlier in the day, Mary ground the grain between two flat stones, the way her mother taught her, and her mother before that, back and back through more years than anyone could count. She mixed the flour with water and a little salt, and she set the dough to rest under a cloth. Bread, too, knows something about rest. If you hurry it, it stays flat and hard and small. You have to let it sit in the warm dark and quietly become more than it was, and only then does it rise. She breaks a piece of it now and sets it aside for the boy for the morning. The crust is dark, the inside is soft and still faintly warm from the day. It is a small thing, a piece of bread in a small house, in a small village, on an ordinary evening, and yet the whole evening seems to gather around it, the light, the warmth, the quiet, the waiting. Nothing here is grand, nothing here is rushed, everything here is simply enough. One day, the child sleeping in this house will grow, and he will teach people a prayer, and in that prayer, there will be a line that says, "Give us this day our daily bread, not tomorrow's bread, not a storehouse of it, locked away against every fear. Only this day's bread, only what is needed for now, and tonight, what is needed is rest, only this night's rest. You do not have to solve tomorrow to fall asleep tonight." Through the wall, from the small room that opens onto the lane, the sounds of the day's work are slowing and softening, and one by one going still. This is Joseph's workshop. He is a carpenter. All through the afternoon, there has been the steady song of it, the long rasp of a plane along a board, the patient tap of a wooden mallet, the soft fall of curled wood shavings onto the floor. But now the tools are being set down, one by one, each returned to its own place. A chisel laid in its quiet row, a saw hung on its peg, the bench wiped clean with the flat of a tired hand. There is a particular peace in the end of honest work, not the peace of having finished everything. No one ever finishes everything, but the simpler peace of laying it down for the night, of saying, without any words at all, "This is enough for today." The last shaving is swept gently aside. The lamp in the workshop is dimmed, and the stillness that settles there drifts through the wall into the warm room where Mary's lamp is burning. There is a time for everything, the old scriptures say, a time to work, and a time to lay the work down, a time to keep, and a time to let go. This is the laying down time. The tools can wait until morning. The unfinished things can wait until morning. They will keep. And so, for now, can you? You may let your hands grow still. Matthew 11:28-30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. On a low mat near the wall, the boy is already asleep. He played hard today, the way children do, running between the houses with the other children of the village, until the playing simply ran out of him all at once, and he lay down where he was and was gone. Mary kneels beside him for a moment. His breathing is slow and even, that deep, unguarded breathing of a child who has never once lain awake, wondering whether sleep would come. It simply comes to him, the way evening comes, the way the lamp catches the flame. She draws the edge of a woven blanket up over his small shoulder. She does not wake him. She only watches him for a little while, the way a mother watches, not anxiously tonight, just tenderly. The lamplight moves softly on his face, and somewhere inside her, perhaps, she is holding things she does not yet fully understand. Strange and gentle words once spoken over this child. A long road in the cold, a borrowed place to be born, shepherds at a doorway in the middle of the night. She does not try to work any of it out tonight. She does not turn it over and over the way a worried mind turns things over. She simply lets it rest inside her, the way you let the bread rest, the way you let a whole long day rest. There is a line written about her that says, "She kept all these things and pondered them in her heart, not solving them, not finishing them, not forcing them into sense, only holding them gently in the warm dark and letting them be." You may do the very same thing now. Whatever you are carrying into this night, you do not have to solve it to sleep. You may simply hold it gently and let it rest, and let yourself rest with it. Psalm 131. Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters, or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself, as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. Mary rises and pours a little water into a clay cup and carries it to the doorway and stands there for a moment in the cool of the night. The lane outside is empty now and silver blue. The hills around Nazareth have gone soft and dark, like great sleeping animals settled down for the night. Everything out there is breathing slowly. The air is cool after the warm day. It carries the smell of dust just beginning to cool, of wood smoke from the other houses, of something green growing on the terraces below the village, and above the dark line of the hills. The first stars are coming out, not many yet, just 2 or 3, faint and patient, the kind of stars you have to be still to see. She watches them the way you might watch them now. If you turned your head and looked toward a window and let your eyes rest on something far away and quiet. There is no hurry in the sky. The stars do not rush to appear. They do not arrive all at once. They come out slowly, one after another, in their own unhurried time. And the great dark night makes room for every single one of them. There is an old song her people have sung for 1,000 years, looking up at exactly this sky. Psalm 8. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. There is another song that says, He telleth the number of the stars. He calleth them all by their names. The one who can number every star and call each one by name can surely hold this one small night and can surely hold you here within it. You are not lost out here in the dark. You are not forgotten. You are known and you are kept. Mary steps back inside and crouches down by the small hearth. The cooking fire has burned low through the evening, down to a soft bed of orange coals that pulse and dim and glow again whenever the air moves across them. She does not put the fire out. She banks it. She draws the warm gray ash gently up and over the embers with a stick, tucking them in so that a little warmth and a single quiet seed of flame will live through the whole cold night and still be there, waiting in the morning. It is a small and ordinary skill, this banking of a fire. Every house in the village knows how to do it. But there is a quiet wisdom in it too. You do not have to keep everything blazing through the night. You do not have to hold every thought and every plan and every worry bright and burning and fully tended while you are trying to sleep. You can bank them. You can tuck them down gently under the soft ash of the evening. They will still be there in the morning if you truly need them. And most of them, you will find, will have quietly gone out on their own in the night, and you will not miss them at all. Let the bright and burning things settle now, down to embers. The night will keep the one small seed of warmth that matters. You are allowed to stop tending the fire. Psalm 23, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. By the door stands a tall clay water jar filled earlier in the day. Mary rests her hand on its cool rim for a moment, the way you might touch something familiar in your own home in the dark, without even needing to look. This morning, while the village was still gray and cool, she carried that jar down to the well at the edge of Nazareth, the way the women did every day, down the worn path, the empty jar light on her shoulder going down, and heavy and full and balanced carefully coming back up. It is the kind of small and daily work that no one ever notices, and no one ever finishes. The water is drawn and used, and must be drawn again. The bread is baked and eaten, and must be baked again, day after day after day. And yet there is a deep peace hidden inside that kind of life, the peace of small, repeated faithful things. The lamp lit each evening, the water carried each morning, the child fed and washed and held and put to bed. It was at a well, not so different from the well of Nazareth, that long years from this quiet night, her grown son would sit down, tired from a journey, and ask a stranger for a drink of water. And he would speak to her of a different kind of water, a water that, he said, would become in a person a well of life, springing up and never running dry. But that is a story for a far-off day. Tonight, there is only this jar, cool by the door, full and quiet, enough for the morning, and that is enough. Mary sits down now on the edge of the sleeping mat in the soft light and lets the evening grow even quieter around her. And tonight, in the stillness, she remembers something. A day, some years ago now, when she was younger still, an ordinary day in this same village, in this same house, that turned out not to be ordinary at all. She remembers a light, a presence, a voice that spoke to her gently and called her by a name she had never been called before. And she remembers being afraid, and then slowly not being afraid. She does not need to chase the memory or hold it tightly. She simply lets it come, the way a memory comes when the day is finally quiet enough to let it in. Let us listen to it with her, slowly, the way the old account tells it. Luke 1:26-35, 38, King James Version. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. And Mary said unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the Highest shall overshadow thee. And Mary said, Behold the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word. And the angel departed from her. Fear not. That was the first thing the voice said to her. Fear not. It is the thing the heavens seem to say, again and again, to frighten people in the dark. To shepherds on a hillside, to travelers on a road, to a young woman alone in a small house in a small town. Fear not. Let that be said over you, too, tonight. Whatever you carried into this room, whatever waits for you tomorrow, fear not. You are held. You may rest. And the memory carries her gently to another one, the way memories do late at night, when one quiet thought opens softly into the next. She remembers a journey she made in those early days, a journey into the hill country, to the house of her older cousin, Elizabeth, who was also in her own old age, waiting for a child of her own. She remembers the two of them meeting at the door, two women, one young and one old, both carrying something far larger than themselves. And she remembers how, in that moment, full of a joy she could barely hold, words rose up out of her, almost like a song. It is a song that has been sung ever since, in quiet rooms like this one, for 2,000 years. Let it be sung over you now, softly, as you rest. Luke 1:46-55. And Mary said, My soul doth magnify the Lord, and my spirit hath rejoiced in God my Saviour, for he hath regarded the low estate of his handmaiden. For behold, from henceforth all generations shall call me blessed. For he that is mighty hath done to me great things, and holy is his name, and his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. He hath showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He hath put down the mighty from their seats, and exalted them of low degree. He hath filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he hath sent empty away. He hath holpen his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy, as he spake to our fathers, to Abraham, and to his seed forever. On a warm night like this one, the family might climb the few rough steps to the flat roof of the house, the way the people of the village often did, to feel the cool air and to sleep under the open sky. Imagine lying back there now on the roof of Mary's house, with the whole of Nazareth dark and sleeping below you, and the whole of the sky open and awake above. The stars are out fully now, not 2 or 3, but thousands, a great soft river of them, spilled across the dark from one dark hill to the other. So many that they seem less like points of light, and more like the night quietly shining through. There is no sound at all, except very far off, a dog that barks once and then thinks better of it, and the small dry song of the crickets in the grass below, which is so steady and so constant that after a moment you stop hearing it at all, and it becomes part of the silence itself. How small the village is under all those stars, how small the house, how small all the worries that filled the day, and yet not one of them is forgotten. The same hand that scattered all that light keeps watch, just as carefully, over the small, dark roof and the people sleeping on it. This is the sky her people looked up into when they wrote the song of the traveler, the one who lifts up his eyes to the hills in the dark and asks where his help will come from, and then quietly remembers. Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Pause. Sheesh. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Hear that again, softly, as you lie there. Someone is awake tonight, so that you do not have to be. You are not the one keeping watch over the world tonight. You never were. While you sleep, the village is kept, the child is kept, the small banked fire is kept, the dark hills are kept, and you are kept. Your only task now is to rest. The keeping is already taken care of. Back inside, in the last of her waking time, Mary takes up a small piece of cloth and a bone needle and does a little quiet mending in the lamplight. A torn seam in the boy's tunic, worn through at the shoulder from his playing. There is something deeply calming in watching hands that know their work. She does not rush. She does not strain to see. Her fingers find the rhythm on their own, in and through, and gently pull, in and through, and gently pull. The needle catches the lamplight, a small moving point of gold, in and through, and the torn thing slowly becomes whole again, one small stitch at a time. So much of love is exactly this, small, unseen, patient repair. No one will ever notice this mended seam. The boy will wear it and tear it again and never know, and she will mend it again. This is what it is to keep a home and to keep a child. The quiet mending of small torn things by lamplight while the world sleeps. Perhaps there are small torn places in you too that this day has worn through. Let them be for tonight. You do not have to mend yourself before you sleep. Rest itself is a kind of mending. In the night, gently, without any effort of yours, the worn places begin to knit back together, one quiet stitch at a time. Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Because He hath set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. The lamp is low now, and the room is warm, and Mary's eyes are growing heavy. And in that soft and drifting place, just before sleep, she remembers the night that changed everything. The night the boy who sleeps beside her now was born. She remembers the long road, the order that had gone out, that everyone must travel to the town of their family to be counted. The slow journey down from Nazareth toward Bethlehem, day after day in the cold of the year. She remembers arriving, tired beyond words, to find the little town full to overflowing and no room anywhere for them, and at last a quiet place among the animals, warm with their breath and the smell of clean straw. And she remembers that it was there, in that humble and sheltered place, in the deep of the night, that her son was born. Let us hear it told slowly, the old and gentle way, the way it has been told on winter nights for 2,000 years. Luke 2:1, 3-16, 19. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was, that while they were there, the days were accomplished, that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. On earth peace, that is what the night sky sang over the fields on the night he was born. Peace, goodwill toward all. Let that same word come down softly over this room and over you, wherever you are resting now. Peace. The day is over. The work is laid down. The child is sleeping. The fire is banked. The stars are keeping their watch. Peace. On earth, peace. And tonight, peace to you. There is one evening in every week that the people of the village hold differently from all the others, the evening of rest, the Sabbath. On that evening, when the sun goes down, all the small daily work simply stops. The tools are laid down and not picked up again. The fields are left. The grinding stone is left. And in every house in Nazareth, a lamp is lit, and the family sits together in its light and does nothing at all but be at peace. It is a strange and beautiful idea when you think of it. That stopping is holy. That rest is not laziness and not weakness, but a gift woven into the very order of things from the beginning. Even the one who made the heavens and the earth, the old story says, rested on the seventh day, and so his people rest too and call it good. You do not have to earn your rest tonight. You do not have to finish everything first and then be allowed to sleep. Rest is not a wage paid out only to those who have done enough. It is a gift laid quietly beside you, waiting only for you to stop and lie down and receive it. Psalm 127, 1-2, and Psalm 3:5. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. Outside now, a soft wind has come up over the hills, the cool night wind that comes to Nazareth after a warm day. It moves through the olive trees on the terraces below, and they turn their leaves, silver and gray, and let it pass. The wind finds the little house and moves around it and over its flat roof and on. But the house stands quiet and warm and closed against the cool. It has stood through many nights and many winds. It holds the small lamp and the banked fire and the sleeping child and the tired mother and keeps them all gently through the dark. There is something so safe in a house at night when the wind is outside and you are within. The walls you did not build are holding. The roof you did not raise is keeping the weather off. You can let the wind blow. It is not your task to hold the walls up tonight. They will hold without you. And so will the larger walls, the ones you cannot see, that hold the whole of your life. You did not build them either. You can let them hold you now while you sleep. You are inside something that is keeping you. You may let go of holding and simply be held. John 14, 1-3, 27. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. The lamp burns on, soft and steady, and Mary's mind drifts again, gently, from one quiet memory into the next, the way it does in the last, unhurried hour before sleep. She remembers carrying the child when he was still very small, only 40 days old, up to the great temple in Jerusalem, to present him there, as was the custom of her people. The long steps, the crowds, the smell of incense, and in the midst of it all, an old man named Simeon, who had waited his whole long life for this moment and did not know it was today. She remembers how he came to them through the crowd, as though he had been called, and how he took the baby gently into his old arms and looked at him for a long, long moment, and then how he lifted his eyes and spoke words that she has never once forgotten. Luke 2:25-32. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon, and the same man was just and devout, waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Ghost was upon him. And it was revealed unto him by the Holy Ghost that he should not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ. And he came by the Spirit into the temple. And when the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him after the custom of the law, then took he him up in his arms and blessed God and said, Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, a light to lighten the Gentiles, and the glory of thy people Israel. Pause approximately 4 seconds. Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace. A whole long life of waiting, and at the end of it, peace, not striving, not fear. Only a quiet old man holding a child and saying gently, now I can rest. There is a rest like that waiting at the end of every day and at the end of every life. A rest you do not have to seize or earn or chase. A rest that simply comes when the waiting is over and you may at last let go. Let a little of that peace come to you now. You have waited and worked and carried long enough for one day. Now you may depart gently into sleep. In one corner of the room stands a simple wooden loom with a half-finished length of cloth still on it, the threads running down in their long, patient, ordered rows. During the daylight hours, when the work of the house allowed it, Mary would sit there and weave. It is slow work, thread by thread, one pass of the shuttle, and then the comb pressed down, and then another pass, and the comb again. A whole day of it might add only a hand's width of cloth, but she is not troubled by how slowly it grows. She knows that this is simply how cloth is made, not all at once, not by wishing, only thread by patient thread, day after day, until one day, almost without your noticing, the cloth is long and whole and finished and warm. So much of a life is woven exactly this way. The days seem small and slow and much the same. One pass of the shuttle, one ordinary evening like this one, and it can feel in the middle of it as though nothing is being made at all, but something is. Quietly, thread by thread, a life is being woven out of all these small and ordinary nights. You do not have to see the finished cloth tonight. You do not have to weave it all at once. You have woven today's small width of it, and that is enough. Let the shuttle rest. Let the loom stand quiet in the corner. Tomorrow is another thread, and it will keep until then. Psalm 62, 1-2, 5-6. Truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. And the wide night sky outside her doorway brings back another memory from those same early years. The memory of a star and of strangers who came from very far away, following it. She remembers the night they arrived, travelers from the east, from lands she had never seen and could not name, wise and dignified men, weary from a journey of many months. They had seen a star rise, they said, and had known somehow that it meant a king had been born, and they had simply left everything and followed it across half the world to this small house. Imagine it, to see a light in the sky and to trust it so completely that you would cross deserts and mountains for it, not knowing exactly where it would lead, only that you must follow and to arrive at the very end of that long road, not at a palace, but at a humble house in a small town, and to kneel down there anyway with great joy before a child. Matthew 2, 1-2, 9-11. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. They followed a light through the dark, and it brought them home. The same is true of you tonight. You do not have to see the whole road. You only have to trust the small light you have been given, and let it carry you through this one night's dark. It knows the way to rest, even when you do not. Simply follow it down into sleep. The night is growing deep now. Mary banks the last of her own waking thoughts, the way she banked the fire, drawing the soft ash of the evening up over them, letting them dim and quiet and settle toward sleep. There is an old line her people sing to their own souls on nights like this, when the heart has been busy and tired and is finally ready to be still. It is a gentle command, spoken softly to oneself in the dark. Psalm 116:7 and Psalm 131. Echo, return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. Psalm 103, verses 1 to 5. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. Return unto thy rest, O my soul. Say it gently to yourself now in the dark. Whatever the day asks of you, it is over. Whatever tomorrow asks, it is not yet. There is only this, the warm room, the low fire, the quiet breath. Return now unto your rest. There was another night in those early years that Mary remembers more quietly and holds more gently, because it began in fear. The night they had to leave Bethlehem in haste and travel down into Egypt to keep the child safe. A warning had come to Joseph in a dream, and so, in the dark, they rose and gathered what little they could carry and set out on the long road south, away from everything they knew, with the child held close and sleeping against her. And yet, even then, even on that frightened road in the dark, they were not alone, and they were not unkept. The same hand that had set the star in the sky went with them down into Egypt and watched over them there, and in time brought them safely home again. Matthew 2:13-14. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. He took the young child and his mother by night. Sometimes the road we are given runs through the dark. Sometimes we must travel a stretch of our lives by night, not seeing the way ahead, only trusting that we are led. But the dark is not the end of the story. It is only a stretch of the road, and we are not alone on it. If your own road runs through some darkness just now, let this be a comfort as you fall asleep. The night is not the end. You are being carried through it, and in time, you will be brought home. Psalm 27:13-14. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I had fainted, unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Mary looks again in the soft light at the boy asleep beside her and remembers him smaller still. She remembers his first uncertain steps across this very floor, his small hands reaching for hers. She remembers his first words, the way he laughed, the way he would fall asleep, even then, in the middle of the day. Wherever the playing left him, he grew the way all children grow, quietly, a little each day, so slowly that you cannot see it happening, and then all at once you look, and the child is taller, and the words are surer, and the small hands can do new things. There is no hurrying it. There is no need to. A child grows in its own good time, like the wheat in the field, like the cloth on the loom, like everything that is truly alive. The old account says it simply and beautifully, that the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, filled with wisdom, and that the grace of God was upon him. And later, that he increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. You are growing too, still in ways you cannot see, even on the nights when it feels as though nothing in you is changing at all. Sleep is part of how you grow. In the night, gently, without any effort of yours, the body mends, and the mind settles, and the soul is quietly restored. You do not have to do it. You have only to let it happen. You have only to sleep. Psalm 63, 1-6-8. O God, thou art my God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. When I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee. Thy right hand upholdeth me. And now very softly, a sound begins outside. Rain. A gentle night rain, the kind that comes without thunder, without wind, that simply arrives in the dark and begins to fall, steady and soft, on the flat roof of the little house. There are few sounds in all the world more peaceful than rain on a roof when you are warm and dry within. The steady whisper of it, the small patter on the stone, the way it fills the silence without breaking it, and makes the warm, dark room feel even warmer and safer and more still. The rain is good. It will soak down into the dry terraces and water the olive trees and the vines and the little garden behind the house. In the morning, the whole village will smell of wet earth and green growing things, but that is for the morning. Tonight, the rain asks nothing of anyone. It simply falls and waters the sleeping land while the whole village sleeps beneath it. Let the sound of it carry you. The soft, steady, endless whisper of the rain. You do not have to listen to it. You do not have to do anything with it at all. Just let it be there in the dark, around the warm room, like a blanket made of sound, drawn gently up over the whole sleeping world and over you. Psalm 135-6. I wait for the Lord. My soul doth wait, and in his word do I hope. My soul waiteth for the Lord, more than they that watch for the morning. I say, more than they that watch for the morning. It is the deep middle of the night now, the hour the old songs call the night watches, the quietest hour of all, when even the village dogs are silent, and the rain has softened to almost nothing, and the whole world seems to be holding its breath, asleep. In the old days, watchmen would stand on the walls of the towns through these dark hours, waiting and watching for the first gray light of the morning to come up over the eastern hills. It was lonely work and slow, But the morning always came. It never once failed to come. However long and dark the night, the light always rose at last over the hills. And so the watchmen learned to wait, not anxiously, but with a quiet certainty. They did not have to make the morning come. They had only to keep their post and trust and wait. The dawn was coming. It was always coming. It was simply not yet. If you are still awake in your own night watch tonight, let that be your comfort. You do not have to make the rest come any more than the watchman made the morning come. You have only to lie still and trust and wait. Rest is coming to you. It is always coming. Let go of watching for it, and it will find you in the dark. Psalm 143, verse 8. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Behind the little house, on the slope of the hill, there is a small garden and a few old olive trees, and a single fig tree that gives its sweet fruit in the late summer. Mary planted some of it herself in the early years, and tends it still in the cool of the mornings and the evenings. A few herbs, some beans, a vine trained along the low stone wall. It is not much, but it feeds the family a little through the year, and it is good to put your hands into the warm earth and to watch small things grow. At this hour, the garden is dark and still and full of the smell of wet earth from the soft rain. The olive trees stand quietly on the slope, as they have stood for 100 years and will stand for 100 more. They grow so slowly you would never see it, but they grow and they bear, and they give shade and oil and quiet year after year after year, asking for nothing but the rain and the sun and a little patience. There is a deep peace in growing things in the dark while no one watches. They do not strive. They do not worry whether they are growing fast enough. They simply take the rain when it comes and the sun when it comes and grow in their own slow time. You may rest away the garden rests tonight, taking what the night gives, growing quietly, asking nothing of yourself but to be still and let the dark do its gentle work. Matthew 6:26, 28-29, 34. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Take no thought for tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Tonight you may lay it all down. The lilies do not lie awake, worrying how they will grow. The birds do not lie awake, afraid of the morning, and they are fed and clothed and kept. You will be kept too. Let tomorrow keep itself, just for these few dark hours. Tonight there is only rest. There is one more memory that comes to her tonight, and it makes her smile now, though it did not at the time. The memory of the one time she truly lost him, for 3 long days, when he was a boy of 12. They had gone up to Jerusalem for the great feast, as they did every year, a whole company of family and neighbors traveling together. And on the way home, a full day's journey out, she discovered that the boy was not among them, not with the cousins, not with the other children. Gone. She remembers the fear of those 3 days, searching the great crowded city, her heart in her throat, and then, at last, finding him calm and unhurried in the temple itself, sitting among the wise old teachers, listening to them and asking them questions, as though it were the most natural thing in all the world. Luke 2:46-49, 51-52. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? And he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and man. Even she, who carried so much and trusted so deeply, knew nights of fear and days of searching, and the ache of not understanding. She was not spared the hard things. She simply carried them the way she carried everything, gently, kept in her heart, trusting that she did not have to understand it all tonight. So if your own heart is not entirely at peace tonight, if there is something you have lost or something you cannot understand, you are in good company. You do not have to solve it before you sleep. You may simply keep it gently in your heart, the way she kept hers, and lay it down for the night, and trust that the morning will hold what you cannot. Psalm 16, 8-9, 11. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. If you stood now at the door of Mary's house and looked out across Nazareth, you would see the last few lamps of the village going out, one by one, all down the dark and winding lanes. There, a light goes dark as an old man settles into his bed. There, another, as a mother finishes nursing her child in the warm dark. There, the last red glow of a banked fire, dimming behind a doorway. House after house, the small lights are going out as the whole village lies down together into the one great shared sleep of the night. There is something tender in that thought, that all across the village, all across the dark hills, all across the whole sleeping land, people just like you are lying down tonight, tired from their own days, carrying their own quiet burdens, closing their own eyes, and being kept, every one of them, through the same dark, under the same patient stars. You are not alone in your sleeping tonight. You join a great and quiet company, the whole tired world, lying down together and being kept together and rising together in the morning to the new light. Let yourself become part of it now. One more small light going gently dark, one more soul laid down in peace and kept till morning. Psalm 84, 1-2, 11. How amiable are thy tabernacles, O Lord of hosts! My soul longeth, yea, even fainteth for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh crieth out for the living God. For the Lord, God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Earlier this evening, before the lamp was lowered, the small family gathered around the low table to share their meal, the way they did every night. A little bread, a little oil, some olives, some dried fruit, water from the jar by the door. simple food and not much of it, but enough. Before they ate, they paused and gave thanks, as her people always did. A few quiet words spoken over the bread, blessing the one who brings forth bread from the earth. It is a small habit, this pausing to give thanks, but it changes everything it touches. It turns a plain piece of bread into a gift. It turns an ordinary evening into a kind of quiet worship. There is a deep peace in a shared meal at the end of a long day. The work is done. The family is together. The food is warm. No one is hurrying anywhere. For this little while, there is nothing to do but be together and be grateful and be at rest. Perhaps as you lie there now, you can call to mind a few of the small good things of your own day, not the troubles, just the small mercies. A kind word, a warm drink, a moment of quiet, the simple fact of a bed to lie down in. Let a quiet gratitude settle over you, the way it settled over that little table. It is a gentle way to fall asleep, counting not your worries, but your blessings. Psalm 34:8, 17-18. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Far out beyond the village, on the dark hills, the shepherds are awake tonight, as shepherds always are, keeping their quiet watch over their flocks under the open sky. It is patient, lonely work. The sheep are gathered close, settled down in the grass, breathing softly in the dark. The shepherd sits among them, wrapped in his cloak against the cool, his staff across his knees, his eyes moving slowly over the sleeping flock, watching for anything that might trouble them in the night. The sheep do not lie awake worrying. They do not keep one eye open, afraid. They simply lie down and rest because they know the shepherd is there. His watching is enough. His presence is enough. They can give themselves wholly to sleep because someone they trust is keeping watch. This is the oldest picture her people had of the one who keeps them. A shepherd, watchful, near, gentle with the weak ones, carrying the lambs that cannot keep up. And it was to shepherds exactly like these, on hills exactly like these, that the good news first came on the night her son was born. You may lie down tonight the way the sheep lie down, not keeping watch, not holding one eye open against the dark, simply trusting that you are watched over and giving yourself wholly to rest because the shepherd is near and his watching is enough. Isaiah 40:11. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. In the evenings before sleep, in the warm light of the lamp, Mary would teach the boy the old words of their people, the same words she had been taught as a child, and her mother before her passed down, mouth to ear, parent to child, for longer than anyone could remember. She taught him to love God with all his heart. She taught him the Psalms, line by line, until he knew them by heart and could sing them softly to himself. She taught him the old commandment that these words should be in his heart and that he should speak of them when he sat in the house, and when he walked by the way, and when he lay down, and when he rose up, when he lay down, and when he rose up. The faith of her people was not kept only for the temple, only for the feast days. It was woven into the smallest moments of ordinary life. into the lying down at night, into the rising in the morning, into the lighting of the lamp, and the breaking of the bread, and the quiet word of thanks. And so, as the boy grew sleepy each night, she would speak over him the oldest blessing of all, the blessing the priest had spoken over her people for 1,000 years. Let it be spoken now, gently, over you. Number 6, 24-26. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Let those old gentle words rest over you now, like a hand laid softly on your head in the dark. You are blessed, you are kept, and you are given peace. By the wall stand the small stores of the house, a jar of grain, a skin of oil, a few figs drying on a tray, a little flour. It is not much. There is no great storehouse here, no abundance laid up against every possible fear. There is only enough for today and a little for tomorrow. And yet the family does not lie awake in fear of the empty places in the jar. They have learned across many years that they are provided for, not always richly, but always enough. The grain comes, the oil comes, the bread is on the table each evening. Somehow, day by day, the small stores are filled, and the family is fed, and they go on. It is a kind of trust that the worried modern heart has half forgotten. The trust that you will be given what you need when you need it, and that you do not have to hold the whole future in your hands tonight, that you can have enough for today and rest and trust that tomorrow will bring its own provision. Whatever the empty places are in your own life tonight, the things you fear you do not have enough of, set them down for now. You do not have to fill them before you sleep. You have had enough for today. You are here. You are warm. You are breathing. Let tomorrow's provision wait for tomorrow. Tonight, you have enough. Tonight, you may rest. Psalm 145, verses 8-9 and 14-16. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thine hand, and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. Lying there now in the warm dark, let your attention come back gently to your own body and to your own slow breathing. There is no need to change anything, no need to breathe in any special way. Just notice the breath as it is, the slow rise, the slow fall, the quiet turning of it in and out, like the gentle tide of some far-off sea, coming in and going out all on its own, asking nothing of you. And as you breathe, let each part of you grow a little heavier. Let the weight of your head sink fully into the place where it rests. Let your shoulders drop and soften and let go of the day they have been carrying. Let your arms grow heavy and still. Let your hands unfold and rest. Let your back settle and your legs grow heavy and warm, sinking down, fully held, fully supported, with nothing left for them to do. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to hold. Even the small muscles of your face can soften now. The brow, the jaw, the space between your eyes. Let it all grow soft and heavy and still like the quiet house, settling down onto its old stone foundations at the end of the day. This is how the body was made to rest, not by trying, not by effort, but by letting go one part at a time, and sinking down into the warm dark, the way the village sinks into sleep, the way the light sinks into the wick, the way the whole tired world lies down at the end of the day and is held and is kept. Proverbs 3:24. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Outside, the moon has risen over the hills, pale and patient, and laid its soft silver light across the whole sleeping village, on the white stone walls, on the flat roofs, on the quiet lanes, on the dark gardens, washed now with rain and moonlight. The moon asks for nothing and changes nothing and hurries nowhere. It simply rises and crosses the dark sky, slowly all through the night, keeping its gentle, faithful watch over the sleeping land, exactly as it has done every single night since the beginning of the world. The same moon that lights the hills of Nazareth tonight has lit 1,000 nights before this one. It lit the shepherds on the hills. It lit the long road to Bethlehem. It lit this very doorway on the night the boy was born, and it lights your own window now. Wherever you are, the same patient silver light, falling gently on the just and the unjust, the waking and the sleeping, the whole tired and beloved world. There is a deep comfort in the things that do not change, the moon, the stars, the turning of the night toward the morning, the faithful mercies that rise new every day. You are held within something vast and slow and steady and kind that has kept its faithful watch since long before you were born and will keep it long after this night is forgotten. You are safe within it. You may rest within it. Let the old, faithful night carry you. Psalm 136, 1-7-9. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. To him that made great lights, for his mercy endureth forever. The sun to rule by day, for his mercy endureth forever. The moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. There is a kind of trust that can only be learned in the dark. In the daylight, when we can see the road ahead, it is easy to feel that we are managing, that we are in control, that everything depends on our own watching and our own effort. But the night takes all of that gently away. In the dark, we cannot see the road. We cannot manage. We cannot hold the future in our hands. We can only lie down and close our eyes and trust that we will be kept until the morning and that we will wake again to the light. And we do. Night after night, all our lives, we lay ourselves down in the dark and let go of everything and trust that we will be given back to the morning. And night after night, we are. It is perhaps the quietest act of faith there is, this simple lying down and letting go and trusting the dark to keep us and the dawn to come. Mary knew this trust. Her whole life had asked it of her, again and again, to say yes to things she could not understand, to follow a road she could not see, to carry and to wait and to trust in the dark that she was held. And she had learned across all those years that the one who keeps Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, that underneath always were the everlasting arms. Let yourself lean back now into that same trust. You do not have to see the road tonight. You do not have to keep watch. You have only to lie down and let go and trust that you are held in the dark and that the morning will come, because it will. It always has. It always will. Isaiah 26:3 and Isaiah 41:10. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. On some evenings, when the work was done and the night was young, the family would sit a while longer by the warm embers, and the old stories would be told. The same stories, told and retold, that her people had carried down through all the long centuries. The story of the garden in the beginning, when the world was new. The story of the great flood, and the dove, and the bow set in the clouds. The story of the old man called to leave his home and follow a promise into the dark. The story of the long years in the wilderness, and the bread that fell each morning, enough for the day. The story of the shepherd boy who became a king and sang the psalms in the night. They were stories of a people kept again and again through every kind of darkness, kept through famine and exile, kept through fear and wandering, kept through long nights without number, and always, in the end, brought back to the light. The whole long story of her people was in a way one single story, told 100 ways. The story of a God who keeps his own and does not let them go. You are part of that long story now, lying here in the dark. One more soul being kept through one more night by the same faithful hand that has kept his people through every night since the beginning. You are not the first to lie down in the dark and trust. You join a great company stretching back through all the centuries, who lay down exactly as you are lying down now and were kept and rose again to the morning. Psalm 145:4 and Lamentations 3:22-23. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. However long the night, the morning is always coming. Far off, beyond the dark eastern hills, beyond the edge of the sleeping world, the dawn is already on its way. It cannot be hurried and it cannot be stopped. It is simply coming, as it comes every day, faithful and certain to lift the dark away. In a few hours, the first gray light will touch the tops of the hills around Nazareth. The birds will begin their small songs in the olive trees. A rooster will call somewhere in the village, and slowly, gently, the light will come up over the land, and the lamps will be lit again, and the water carried, and the bread baked, and another ordinary, blessed day will begin. But all of that is for the morning. You do not have to reach for it now. You do not have to stay awake to make sure it comes. It will come without you. Your only task in this deep middle of the night is to rest and to trust, and to let the dark hours carry you gently toward that certain dawn. Whatever sorrow or weariness you carry into this night, let this be your last quiet thought before sleep. It will not last forever. The night is not the end. The morning is coming. It is always coming, and you will be carried safely, gently, all the way to it. Psalm 35 and Psalm 42:8. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. There is a peace that the world cannot give and cannot take away. It does not come from everything being settled, or every problem being solved, or every fear being answered. It comes from somewhere deeper than that. It comes as a gift into hearts that have learned to lay their burdens down and trust. Mary knew that peace, not because her life was easy. It was not. She knew fear and loss and a long road and a sword that would one day pierce her own heart. But through all of it, underneath all of it, she carried a deep and quiet peace, the peace of one who has placed her life in faithful hands and learned that those hands will not let go. That same peace is offered to you tonight, not the peace of having everything figured out, the peace of letting it go, the peace of saying, with your whole tired heart, I cannot carry all of this, and I do not have to, and I lay it down now, and I trust that it is held. Lay your requests down now, gently, one by one, all the cares of your heart, all the things you have been turning over and over in the dark. Lay them down, and let the peace that passes all understanding come, and keep your heart and your mind through the long and quiet night. Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. The boy who sleeps in this house tonight will grow one day into a man who climbs a hillside not far from here and sits down and teaches the people who gather around him. And the first words he speaks to them are not words of warning or command, but words of blessing, gentle words for the tired and the poor and the grieving and the gentle of heart. Let those same words of blessing rest now over everyone listening tonight, over you, over the weary and the worried, over those who are sad and those who are afraid, over those who lie awake and those who have already drifted off. A blessing spoken softly over the whole sleeping world. Matthew 5:3-9. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are the weary, we might gently add, for they shall find rest. Blessed are those who lie down in the dark and trust, for they shall be kept until the morning. Let that blessing settle over you now, soft as the moonlight, warm as the lamp, gentle as a blanket drawn up over a sleeping child. And so, the long evening in the little house in Nazareth draws at last toward its close. Everything that needed doing is done. Everything that needed keeping is kept. The lamp is low. The fire is banked. The bread is set aside. The water is full by the door. The door is closed against the night. The child is asleep, breathing soft and slow. The mother lies beside him, her own breathing slowing now to match his, her own cares laid down at last. Outside, the rain has stopped. The moon rides high and quiet over the hills. The shepherds keep their watch. The village sleeps. The stars turn slowly in their great and patient circle. And over all of it, the one who neither slumbers nor sleeps keeps his faithful watch, as he has kept it since the beginning, and will keep it to the end. All is well. All is quiet. All is kept. There is nothing left undone. There is nothing left to fear. There is only the warm dark, and the slow breath, and the deep and ancient peace of a night fully given over to rest. Psalm 46, 1-2, 10. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Be still and know that I am God. Down at the edge of the village, the old well stands quiet in the moonlight, its stone rim worn smooth by 1,000 years of hands and ropes and water jars. In the morning, the women will gather there again, as they always do, drawing up the cool water for another day. There is a thirst that water answers, and a deeper thirst that it cannot. The thirst of the soul for something it can barely name, for peace, for meaning, for home, for the living God. Her people knew that thirst well and sang of it, comparing the longing of the soul to a deer that pants for the water brooks in the dry season. That deeper thirst does not have to be answered tonight. It is enough tonight simply to feel it gently and to know that you are not the only one who has ever felt it, and to trust that the one who made the longing will, in his own time, satisfy it. Tonight, you may simply rest in the longing itself, the way the dry land rests, waiting for the rain it knows will come. Psalm 42, 1-2. As the hart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. My soul thirsteth for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? Long before Mary's time, there was a prophet named Elijah, who was weary and afraid and worn down to nothing, and who went out alone into the wilderness, to a mountain, to listen for God. And a great and strong wind came, the old story says, tearing the mountains and breaking the rocks. But God was not in the wind, and after the wind, an earthquake. But God was not in the earthquake, and after the earthquake, a fire. But God was not in the fire, and after the fire, a still, small voice. Not in the storm, not in the noise, not in the great and violent things, but in the quiet, in the stillness. After all the loud things had passed, came the gentle voice that the weary prophet had been longing to hear. So often we listen for the answers to our lives in the storms, in the loud and urgent things, in the noise of all our worry. But the deepest things are not spoken there. They are spoken in the quiet, in the stillness of a night like this one, when all the loud things of the day have finally passed, and the heart grows quiet enough, at last, to hear the gentle voice beneath it all that says, simply, peace, be still, you are mine, you are kept, rest now. 1 Kings 19:11-12. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake, and after the earthquake a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire a still small voice. Along the low stone wall beside Mary's door, a grapevine grows, trained patiently over many years across the rough stones. Its roots go deep into the earth. Its branches reach out and bear their clusters of fruit in the warm season, sweet and heavy and good. The branch does not strain to bear fruit. It does not lie awake at night, worrying whether it is doing enough. It simply stays joined to the vine and lets the life of the vine flow into it, and the fruit comes in its own season as naturally as breathing. All the branch must do is abide. All it must do is stay connected and rest, and let the life flow in. Her grown son would one day speak of exactly this. He would call himself the vine, and those who loved him the branches. And he would say that the secret of a fruitful life was not striving, but abiding, staying joined, resting in him, letting the life flow in. You do not have to strive tonight, any more than the vine strives. You have only to abide, to stay quietly in the place where you are held, to let go of all you're doing and simply rest and let the deep life flow into you in the dark, the way it flows into the sleeping vine, the way it flows into all living things in the quiet of the night. John 15:4-5. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me ye can do nothing. Look up one more time in your mind at all those stars over Nazareth, so many that they cannot be counted, and yet the old songs say, the one who made them counts them, everyone, and calls each by name. And if he numbers the stars and names them, then how much more does he know you, not as one face in a vast and nameless crowd, but as a single, particular, beloved soul. He knows your name. He knows you're going out and you're coming in. He knows the thoughts you cannot even put into words. He has counted, the old saying goes, the very hairs of your head. Even your wanderings are known. Even your tears are kept, gathered up, the psalm says, and held, as though they were precious. Nothing about you is lost on him. Nothing about you is forgotten. You are not a number. You are not overlooked. You are known completely and loved completely exactly as you are, lying here in the dark tonight. Let that be the deep ground under all your rest tonight. Not that you are strong enough or good enough or have done enough, but simply that you are known and kept and loved by the one who numbers the stars. You may rest there. You may rest in being known. It is the safest place there is. Matthew 10:29-31 and Psalm 56:8. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows. Thou tellest my wanderings, put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? In the very beginning of the old stories, when the world was made, even the maker of it all is said to have rested on the seventh day and blessed that rest and called it holy. Rest was woven into the world from the very first as a gift and a blessing and a sign that we are not only what we do, and there remains, the scriptures say, a rest for the people of God, a deep and final rest beyond all our striving, where every burden is finally laid down and every weary one is finally at home. We taste a little of it every night in our sleep, a small foreshadowing of that great rest, a nightly promise that one day all of it, all the carrying, all the striving, all the long roads will come gently to an end in rest. Let your sleep tonight be a small taste of that great rest. Let it be more than just the body stopping for a while. Let it be a laying down of every burden, a ceasing from all your works, a sinking down into the deep peace that was woven into the world from the beginning and that waits faithfully for every tired soul at the end of every long day. Hebrews 4:9-10 and Deuteronomy 33:27. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. All through the dark, while the village sleeps, the heavens keep their own quiet praise. The old song says that the heavens declare the glory of God, and that day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no sound, no words, and yet the great silent turning of the stars is a kind of worship going on unbroken all through every night, whether anyone is awake to see it or not. You do not have to add anything to it. You do not have to stay awake and keep watch with the stars. The praise goes on without you. The world is held and kept and quietly glorifying its Maker, all on its own, all through the night. While you sleep, you may let go and join the sleeping village, and let the wakeful heavens keep the watch. There is such freedom in that. You are not the one holding the night together. You are not the one keeping the stars in their courses, or the world turning toward the dawn. It is all being held by hands far stronger and far kinder than yours. Your part tonight is the smallest and the sweetest part of all. Simply to rest, simply to sleep, simply to be carried like a child through the dark toward the morning. Psalm 19, 1-2. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is an old and gentle instruction in the songs of her people, repeated again and again, for nights exactly like this one. It is this: rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Rest and wait. Two of the hardest things for a tired and worried heart to do, and two of the most healing: to stop striving and rest, to stop grasping at tomorrow and wait, to trust that what is meant for you will come in its own good time, and that you do not have to force it or chase it or stay awake guarding it through the night. The seed in the dark earth does not strive to grow. It waits and rests in the soil, and in its own time it rises. The dawn does not strive to come. It waits beyond the hills, and in its own time it breaks. And you do not have to strive tonight. You may simply rest and wait and trust the slow, faithful, unhurried goodness that is carrying you even now, even in the dark, even while you sleep, gently onward toward the light. Psalm 37:7 and Psalm 116:7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. Now the room is ready for the night. The boy is asleep. The bread is set aside. The water is full by the door. The fire is banked low. The mending is folded away. The door is drawn closed against the cool. And Mary takes up the little clay lamp one last time. But this time she does not raise it. She lowers it. She rests it back on its shelf and turns the wick down gently, just a little, so that the flame grows small and soft and steady, a single quiet point of gold in the dark. The shadows in the room grow long and deep and gentle. The bright edges of things go soft, and the whole house seems to breathe out and settle a half-inch lower onto its old stone foundations, the way a body settles deeper into a bed when at last it knows the day is truly done. She lies down on the mat beside her son and draws the blanket over them both. She does not pray tonight with many words. She is far too tired for many words. And the one she prays to, she has learned across all these quiet years, has never once required them. She simply breathes and lets the breath itself be the prayer, in and out, the oldest prayer there is. You may pray that way too now. You do not need the right words tonight. You do not need any words at all. Only the breath in and out. And that is enough. That has always been enough. Psalm 139, 1-3, 7-10, 17-18. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my downsitting and mine uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them! When I awake, I am still with thee. And now the whole village is asleep, house after house. The small lamps have gone out, one by one, all down the dark lane, until only the stars are left burning. The shepherds are out on the far hills, with their flocks, keeping their quiet watch by night, as shepherds have always done, wrapped in their cloaks against the cool. The sheep gathered close and still around them in the dark. The roads between the towns are empty and silver under the moon. The wells are still, the fields are still. The great hills stand all around the little village like watchmen who never tire and never sleep and ask for nothing. And over all of it, the same wide and patient sky, full of soft and countless stars, turning so slowly that you cannot see it move, exactly as it turned over this same land 2,000 years ago, on the night a young mother in Nazareth lay down beside her sleeping son. Nothing in all of it is hurried. Nothing in all of it is afraid. The night does its slow and ancient work and asks nothing of you at all, except that you let it carry you the way it carries the village and the hills and the stars down and gently down into rest. Isaiah 40:28-31. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary? He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Psalm 46:10 and Psalm 4:8. Be still and know that I am God. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. The lamp is very low now. The room is warm and dark and still. Mary's breathing has slowed and softened until it matches her son's, long and even and unhurried. Outside, the village sleeps, the hills sleep, the shepherds keep their quiet watch, and the stars keep theirs, in no hurry at all the long night through. And there is nothing left for you to do tonight, nothing to finish, nothing to carry, nothing to solve, nothing to keep watch over. It is all being held. Only this breath, and the warm dark, and the small steady light growing softer, and the old peace of that quiet house in Nazareth settling down now over you like a blanket drawn up gently over a sleeping child. Whatever you have heard tonight, let it settle in you slowly. Some of it you may remember in the morning. Most of it you will not. And that is all right. It was never meant to be remembered. It was only ever meant to carry you down gently into rest. If you are somehow still with us, thank you for staying. And if you have already drifted off somewhere in that warm little house in Nazareth under all those quiet stars, thank you for that too. This evening was for both kinds of listener. We will be here again with another quiet evening, another lamp, another gentle corner of the old story. Sleep well, and thank you for being here at Lamplight Scripture.